Final game to dive deeply into, and I mean we can go over this one a little bit quicker, I think, because this game centers around the line for me, guys. We're talking about number 11 BYU at Cincinnati, 7 p.m. game on Fox. The line is 2.5 in favor of BYU, who just got done shellacking TCU at home at night. Admittedly, a different environment. They are way better at night at home. Cincinnati, though, they came off a bye and all they did was throw for like 150 yards against a really bad defense for Arizona and lose that game outright. They made Trey look like a genius over the weekend when I could not see that one getting home.
You say that like you're surprised. What the heck?
Not in general. I think you've been the most accurate out of all of us this year, but that game specifically, I could not get Arizona even to covering that game. And then they went outright. I lost two of my best bets outright last week. That was
bear down.
Not a great look for me. Guys, this line stinks to high heavens. I don't get it. Cincinnati is better at home, but then you let Arizona, who barely beat Kansas and looked kind of awful while doing it, walk in and essentially ruin your season, right? I mean, Cincinnati can still, they've got 3 losses. So, I mean, hypothetically, they could finish 9-3, a great year for Scott Satterfield, a definite stock up, but you had everything to play for right in front of you and you couldn't get up for Arizona. But I'm going to take Cincinnati plus the 2.5, man. Like I can't wrap my head around it. It does not make sense. BYU, I think, is a vastly superior team. BYU has a top scoring defense. They're 41st in run defense is maybe why Cincinnati has a better shot here. Maybe Evan Pryor comes back this week and Cincinnati has been doing really well on the ground. But Sorsby was putrid last week. 154 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. I don't get it from the X's and O's standpoint, but when a line reeks that badly, I guess I'll lean into it.
Yeah, I'm going to BYU minus 2.5. I think they're the better team. I think
good for you.
Bear Bachmeier just seems to have the winning gene, and please pay no attention to the results in Lubbock behind the curtain. I have nothing to say about that, but
they're a good football team.
Yeah, no, I think that they're a better team. I think LJ Martin continuing to kind of come back off the injury, right? He had a brief injury a couple games ago, hasn't really been 100%. I think he's kind of coming back from that, starting to play a little bit better, get back into form. It's a great running combo. I think they'll be able to run to kind of pass a little bit too. Bogmeyer hasn't always been great throwing the football, but I think there's some opportunities here that he can throw the football a little bit better. And look, I think Cincinnati's just running out of steam a little bit. They've had a good year, but BYU is the better team. I think they're going to show it. They need to make a statement. I kind of mentioned that off the top, is that there's going to be some teams that need to make statements to convince the committee to let them in. Well, if BYU goes and just, smacks Cincinnati in the face, that's a good statement, right? That's a good Cincinnati team that you could get in there, win a big time game. Defense travels, running the football travels, and BYU is going to need to travel. And to just kind of cap that one off, if it is really 7 p.m. on Fox, you could go check out Always Talking Ball for their take on the whole BYU Vampire team. And I think that'll probably help you go a little ways there. So go check out our friends when you're done watching this one, because, they have a pretty good take about BYU being very good at nighttime.
They are.
That's a good point that I had not considered in this one. I literally have undecided written next to my name here, guys, and I was going to let y'all.
Maybe the most fair take so far.
I was just going to.
This one.
I'm not abstaining. I'm going to make a pick here, but I just wanted to stall and not commit and let you guys kind of make the point on both sides. And I was just going to see where the spirit led me as I make this final pick here in the big three. But yeah, you guys are right about the vampire thing. BYU's also generally won on the road outright, but it's been close, right? They only won by 3 at Colorado. It was 6 in double overtime at Arizona. They did run away from Iowa State, but then lost by 22 at Tech. So as they took the step up in competition on the road, it was not as pretty for them. So to me, this one's going to come down to 2 things. Can Bear Bachmeier win this game with his arm is number 1, because Cincinnati's 102nd in defensive success rate against the pass. He did step it up against Iowa State when he had to, when LJ Martin first went down. He looked really good against a bad TCU secondary last week at home, but not so much against Tech, right? That's kind of the other game where the run game was taken away from BYU. And obviously Tech is a big step up in defense, but can Bear Bachmeier win this game with his arm? Because Cincinnati's pretty good against the run, really bad against the pass. He has to exploit that mismatch. And does Evan Pryor play? You mentioned it, Mitch, but Cincinnati is 0-2 without Evan Pryor in these last 2 games against Utah and Arizona. 7-1 with him. It's a completely different offense. It's a completely different team with their best offensive player. So that being said, I guess I should make a pick. I'm going to lean Cincinnati plus the 2.5. And that means I'm lining up with Mitch here, who's on a bit of a cold streak. And I recognize that. Maybe I can pass some good energy on, but I don't think the Big 12's done with chaos yet, guys. I think it is too straightforward for the Big 12 to have 2 one-loss teams going into the final week. And we just say that those 2 teams are going to make it to Arlington. We're not going to have a silly tiebreaker scenario. That is not what this conference was. That is not what this conference was founded on. That is not what it stands for. And I don't think Cincinnati is going to let it get away from its identity.
I think Cincinnati is the blue shell on the Mario Brothers Fury Road here for BYU. They're just, you get to the finish line, you think you're home free, and suddenly you're in 8th place. Like, that would be so Big 12 for that to happen. The line seems to indicate that might be on the cards. It just, it doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I want to lean BYU so wholeheartedly here, but I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Well, look, the blue shell hits the guy in first place, so the folks over in Lubbock better look out. And also, just another thing, I'm just going to speak directly. Hey, BYU fans, me and you, I know you're watching this video because y'all been so good to us this month. Go tell them in the comments why they're wrong and we're awesome, okay? I'm riding with y'all. We're going to keep going. There's no reason why BYU should lose this game. Come on, let's get it done.
There's really not.
There's really not. It's just the college football chaos theory and the weird line. And I will say, yes, the shell does usually go to first place, but Tech is on a bye this week. So I think that would mean, here we go, if a blue shell is being deployed.
Transitive property.
We have some real things to figure out. This is like the controller disconnecting and all of that. So we gotta go maybe run the simulation in Mario and see what happens when the blue shell goes off.
The Big 12 nerds yearn to use the algorithm, and if BYU wins this weekend, they don't get to do that. So I think chaos will reign. We'll see. Let us know at 3Tech Pod.